Hi, this is Roger Schlitter. This video is actually about the 25 things that a company can do to weather a recession, to weather the storm, so to speak. Because we all know probably one's coming. This is actually, I'm talking to you in the spring of 2023. So, we'll see. Hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it'll pass us by. But you never know. So anyway, the 25 things to weather a recession. Number one is really try to operate within a budget. This is a good time to really buckle down and maybe pare some costs. It's really a good time to try to get down what you really need, what your sales should be, what your expenses should be, and really don't deviate from those too much. So anyway, to operate within a budget. And I know you think, hey, that's something kind of normal, but yes, it is. But a lot of people don't do it, especially during the good times. Number two would be to pare down debt. This works better before a recession hits. Less interest, lower payments. This really can help you make more money, can really impact your bottom line. So you really want to pay down your debt. Number three, reduce overhead and inventory expenses. Overhead are the expenses that are present regardless of sales. You could have no sales and you still have overhead. You still have to pay the electric bill. You still have to pay the water bill. You still have to take out the trash. You still, a lot of these things are going to be there whether you have sales or not. So you really need to look at those overhead expenses and really try to reduce them if you can. Inventory, you want to run a lean inventory to minimize things like obsolescence, to minimize theft, and to minimize storage costs. So anyway, reduce overhead and also reduce inventory, and it will make your company run a little leaner. Number four would be no big investments, no new big investments. This is not a time to renovate the office. It's not a time to buy new equipment. It's not a time to update vehicles. Unless these things will save you money. If they'll save you money, then you might want to do it. And they'd have to save enough money to really pay for themselves. But other than that, no new big investments. Number five would be secure capital before you need that money. Try to get lines of credit and accounts receivable financing before you are in dire need of it. And believe me, I've been in banking. Bankers don't like lending money in recessions. They do if companies are really making money. But usually during a recession, everybody's sales are kind of reduced. Everybody's expenses sometimes go up. Sometimes they're not making money like they used to. So their sales and earnings are starting to go down. And, usually when you go to borrow money, that banker is going to say, hey, give me like the last, sometimes they'll say, give me the last five years tax returns. But they'll at least ask for the last three. So, and then if you're not toward the end of the year, if you're not past the end of the year, they'll ask for an interim statement. And they will look at these very close to see what you're doing, what your trends are. And if your trends are kind of inching downward, they are not going to be your best buds for borrowing money. Number six would be pay particular attention to customers and keep well connected to those customers. And I know you say, oh yeah, I know my customers. I keep very well connected. We're good buds. You are, but a lot of times that can, like I said, that can be a double-edged sword. I mean, sometimes you think you're good buddies, but then their competitor reduces their cost and all of a sudden they're switching to him. So you really need to pay attention, and sometimes they'll give you the heads up. Sometimes they'll tell you when those competitors are doing this or doing that, and it kind of helps you stay ahead of the game a little bit. Number seven, improve your website and update your SEO, your search engine optimization on the web. And and work on your company's brand. These are important things to do normally, but when sales are going good, you're not going to be thinking about your website and updating your search engine optimization. That is not something that you have on your mind every day. If it is, then good. But this can help you. I mean, internet sales are becoming so much more important now than they used to be. Number eight, consolidate like services. This could be cell phones, delivery services, software, wherever your company has different divisions and they all kind of use different services. Try to make those the same. Try to, make them all use the same cell phone carrier. Make sure the delivery services are using the same, because usually those companies, when you only use that company, you can usually get discounts. Number 9, prepare for change. Things are going to change. You may want to have a plan B and also have a plan C if circumstances come up, and you know what circumstances are important for your industry. So really prepare for change. Have that plan B and also have that plan C. Number 10, try to get your employees to give you ideas on productivity or money saving ideas. They're closer to the production, or they're closer to the sales than management is. And a lot of times they have some good ideas, but they're not just going to bring them up willy-nilly. You really need to set them down and say, hey, let's, buy them lunch, buy them dinner, do something, take them out for drinks, but try to get some ideas on productivity and on money saving ideas, because they are closer, to your customers and to your products than you are. Number 11 would be connect with trusted advisors. This is a good time to have meetings with your legal and accounting teams. A lot of things can come up. Maybe they can tell you better ways to structure your company, or better ways to do this or that. So anyway, stay connected to them, because it's a good time to really, be connected with your trusted advisors. Number 12, business assistance organizations. See what they have to offer, especially for free services. The one I think of all the time is SBA. There's also some of those companies that are associated with SBA that try to help companies. Get with your SBA person and say, hey, what services are out there, to help me, through SBA or through some of your partners. SBA has a number of partners that do help them do a number of things, and they can help you a lot. A lot of times won't cost you a dime. So anyway, those are good things to try out. And if they're not good services, then you don't have to use them. Number 13, try to keep your advertising and marketing budget intact. Many companies will cut these. They can be of good use in a recession. I remember Google during the 08 recession, 2008, and their advertising went way down. You really want to keep your advertising and marketing budget intact. And I'm talking not their actual, their money that came in from ads and things like that went way down. And that's because those companies that were using Google to advertise, those companies cut their advertising budget. And so it really hurt Google. So anyway, you want to keep it up, because you never know, it can help you during the bad times, but when things take off again, you want to have these services intact. Number 14, streamline and improve your products and services. This is a good time to improve the delivery of your product or your project to your customers. Whatever that is, whatever you're selling, make sure you improve the delivery to your customer. And this can be even talking to your customer, finding out, hey, how can we do this better? What's your problem using us? A lot of times they'll give you good ideas. Number 15, think about cutting off the very difficult customers, the ones that actually cost you money. These are actually the dredges of the earth. They are the customers that cause problems with your employees. They cause problems with your billing. They cause problems with your collection. And they cause problems just all around. They are not good customers. And if they're actually, you think, costing you money, or you're actually even, then just get rid of them. Now, I'm not talking about the companies where they're not using your product now, but they will later. I mean, those are good companies. You want to keep them. But I'm talking about the ones that, and you know who those are. You know who those companies are that are costing you money. Number 16, think about also, I hate to do this because this is not something I ever want to do. Think about also firing your worst employee or employees. You need to run a lean operation with all workers rowing in the same direction, and sometimes a lot of them are not. During good times, everybody's happy, everybody's doing good. We don't think about, good employees, bad employees, everybody's great. We're hiring people, everything's fine. But when you're entering a recession and you might have tough times, you're going to think about, firing your worst employees or laying them off. You don't want to lay off your good employees. You don't want to take a 10% reduction willy-nilly, like, oh, let's just flip a coin on these people. No, you want to keep your good employees, and you want to either, fire or in some way get rid of your bad employees. Number 17, be careful if you decide to consolidate your operations. Make sure this is the best move. Sometimes consolidation can mean that when things turn back around, you're not prepared for it. You don't have the necessary, things aren't organized to really get your sales and your company to make money. So be careful if you decide to consolidate your operations. Just make sure it's the best move for you. Number 18, talk with partners and suppliers about situations that could arise in a recession. Suppliers know a lot more than you think. They know, what other companies are charging. They know what other companies are doing. They may give you a heads up on costs that are going up, so you can load up on some supplies. Talk with your partners. They know that too. Those people can be invaluable resources during this time. Number 19, keep an open mind about being flexible with client agreements, but make sure it's a quid pro quo. That's when you give something and you get something. If you're going to give them extended terms, tell them, you want like, a percent interest or something. Always, if you're going to give something to a customer, make sure you get something from them. And at that time, they'll be willing to do it. Later on, they will not. Number 20, track your marketing programs and think about dropping undesirable campaigns. Everybody has sales campaigns and different types of campaigns in their company, and they track them a lot of times. So think about, looking at your tracking of that marketing. Maybe you do this all the time, but during good times, a lot of times that stuff, nobody looks at it. And think about dropping some undesirable campaigns and get some new ones that it can actually help you increase sales and make money. Number 21 is the one that you're going to say, everybody says this, beat your competition. It's easier said than done, but try to be better than your competition. And there's a lot of things you can do to be better than your competition. Sometimes it's things you can do, sometimes it's things you can't do. So anyway, you do want to try to beat your competition, or at least try to, be better than your competition. 22, specialize if you need to keep market share. Sometimes finding a smaller niche really helps, to keep that market share. So keep that in mind. If you're losing market share, think about specializing in a smaller niche of the products that you have or services you have. Number 23, keep your eye on your business and your business trends. Don't get caught up on national trends. Don't get caught up on these national, advertisers or whoever it is, news companies that tell you, oh, this is the way it is. This is the way it's going. You need to do this or do that. No, keep your eye on your business and your trends, and really don't get caught up on those national things. Number 24 would be increase cash reserves if possible. And I know this is something that's very, can be very hard to do. Cash has many uses in a recessionary period. You can buy more product. You can buy out your competitor. You can do a whole lot of things. So if possible, increase your cash reserves if you can during this period. And number 25, strategic partnerships. Think about partnering with like-minded companies, and you can kind of help each other or bounce ideas off each other. Think about, going out to lunch with a couple people that have companies that could be in your industry. Maybe they're not, but they all have a lot of the same problems and the same things come up. So think about partnering with like-minded companies, strategic partnerships. This is not an end-all list. This is a good start. Remember, recessions eventually end and things usually go back to normal. People forget that during a recession. They think it's going to continue forever. It always ends. Things always get better. And there are many industries that are not as affected by recessions as other companies. And if you're in one of these, industries, good for you. But these companies, their sales will go down, but they won't be quite as affected by a recession. And these industries are healthcare, financial services, automotive, food and beverage, home repairs, household staples, education, and baby products. And there's probably a lot more, and you could probably think of some of these too. So anyway, try to work on those 25 things, or take a couple of them and look at them and see if they can improve your business. Please subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notification of future videos that I do. Please also hit the like button if you like the video. My name is Roger Schlueter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.